Well, hi everyone, and welcome again to Davison Orchards and our family farm. So of all the different crops we grow, apples is still number one, and about 20 different varieties of apples. So we are picking apples from kind of mid-July all the way through to October. But our biggest variety of apples by far is Honeycrisp. That's our most popular apple, and we're standing beside some Honeycrisp right here. And over the last number of years, it's just become more and more dominant as people really latch on to the flavor and the crispness of Honeycrisp. And so these are young honey trees. They're 5 years old. They're just in their 5th year. You can see they have a nice crop on them. Their apples are sizing really well. So, you know, I've mentioned in the veg, we've had a cooler, wetter spring, which kind of slows down the vegetables. But the apples actually have been super happy. There's very little stress on them, and the fruit is growing really, really well. So we're excited about that. But one of the big jobs, like people maybe don't realize how much handwork there is in horticulture, and I could talk about that for a long time, but I'll just focus on one of the tasks that we have every summer. So once the fruit is set and begins to grow like this, you can see there's a lot of apples on the tree. And so we have a process, we call it fruit thinning or hand thinning. We actually ask our crews to go through our entire orchard, about 70,000 apple trees, and we want them to look at every apple on every tree. So that's a slightly overwhelming job, but anyway, we just start with our early varieties and just carry through, and it'll take us about 8 weeks to go through the entire orchard and look at every apple on every tree. And what we're doing as we look at them, we're looking for any kind of defects. Now, a defect might be that the apple is crooked, which this you can see in this apple. It's kind of lopsided. It's growing more on one side than the other. That's because it wasn't properly pollinated. And if we cut it in half, you would see that there's seeds on one side of the apple and not on the other. Anyway, that's one defect we're looking for. We're looking for small size fruit. And so anything that's got a defect, smaller size, insect damage, bird damage, anything like that, that's removed now and just dropped off the tree. So they literally go through, our guys, most of them use clippers, and they'll go through and just quickly decide if the fruit is #1 quality, if it's large size, and they'll remove the competing fruit. And this way the fruit that is left gets more energy from the tree and will give us larger size and higher quality at harvest. So when we go through and harvest, we want to have very consistent fruit so that when we're packing, we can be efficient. We want to only be storing fruit that's of very good quality. And so this process, which is months and months and thousands of dollars every year, is just super important. So a tree like this, as I said, they're just 5 years old. We're aiming at about 30 apples per tree as a maximum load for the tree. And if you get the load too heavy, again, you'll have small fruit. The other thing that you'll have is that the trees overexert themselves this year growing too many apples. Next year, they tend to take a holiday and not produce as many. So this process helps to give us a consistent crop year after year and much higher quality fruit at harvest time. So big job, fruit thinning. We're very thankful for our guys that come up from Mexico and work with us all summer long and just do an amazing job of some of these kind of projects. It's not just harvest that we need help with, it's all these summer jobs as well.